Hey, what's up? This is Carl doing Excel chapter 3, and where we're gonna start off is absolute absolute reference. Absolute reference is when you copy formulas and part of the formula does not change, and that is definitely helpful. I'm gonna show you. What you're gonna do is I'm gonna highlight this cell, and now we're gonna go in here. And if you press F4, I want you to see how as you press F4, it cycles. Now, those different cycles help you or help us with the absolute reference because you don't want a particular portion of this formula to change. Let's say you want to keep B8, you want to keep D8 the same. So now the formula becomes the average of B8 absolute value D8, which means, let's check this out on the grid. D8 is 6,200. So now the average is always going to calculate the 6,200 as a constant, and then it's going to refer to all others. So now let's see how this all changes. All right. So now we're going to copy this formula down and further on and further on. So now I want you to see it becomes absolute value of B8 of D9. So the absolute value is staying the same. It's changing. So boom, now we're going absolute value of 10 and absolute value of 8. So B8 is not changing. B8 is here. This is B8. And the average is being calculated through B8 to D10. So and if you trace it, which is what you're gonna see, is now this is what the trace looks like. This is the trace with the absolute value. So it shows you it's starting here, and it gets traced from here to this. That's the trace. Now I'm gonna remove these lines. Now this one at the top wasn't changed, so tracing it, you see the difference? The absolute value kept one number constant while you changed another. Another thing I'm gonna show you now is sheet naming. At the bottom of my screen, you see how I have first quarter, second quarter, third quarter. These are all sheet names. And the way you add a sheet is at the bottom corner right here. It says sheet work. Boom. I just added another sheet. What you can do is you can right click it. Right click, rename, delete, insert, move, copy, protect the sheet, whatever you want to do. You can even color it like I have here. I've colored them differently. That's another benefit to Excel because now you have your work a lot more organized, a lot more neat. Just a little heads up. Another thing that I believe I didn't show you, we're going to do this on a new sheet, is I'm going to write the word January. And without any other lettering or any other thing, I'm going to autofill it and extend it. It automatically took what I wrote the first time and made a sequence just of thinking of what I was going to do. So now I'm going to put the number 1. And I'm going to do the same thing again. This autofill feature is trying to count for me. See how it keeps going with the ones? Because there's no sequence. It's going to keep going with the ones. But now, let me put 1, 2. I'm sorry. Highlight both of them. 3, 4, 5, 6. You see what I'm saying? So now you have a pretty legit way of just spreading out your sheet real quick. Another thing I wanted to show you is split window. You go into the View tab, and you can split the window, as you see I'm doing here. So now you see these both windows. Okay, well, both windows are cool. Boom. But now I want to freeze frame. I'll freeze that frame, and now the bottom frame will move. I want you to notice that. My bottom frame is moving while my top frame is staying still. That is freeze framing. So I'm keeping exactly what I have at the top as what I want to see, and now I'm just scrolling down. You can also freeze frame the top row, the first column, and then you can unfreeze them. Another thing I want to show you is something I've never really noticed until now. I'm stop splitting the page. I want you to look in this corner here, right after the arrow. This is very helpful because it's another form of splitting the page. The way I showed you the first time was a horizontal split. This is a vertical split. Perfect. And what happens is, you see now I have 2 Ds because it's gonna that's what it's showing. But now I go, this panel is frozen. This panel gets to move. So now if I maybe have more information on this side and I wanted to maybe change some numbers or find out some things, it could be definitely used for that. And I'm gonna definitely try to show you some more.